Hello and welcome to Slow Talk English, the podcast for learners who want to speak with more confidence and joy. I'm Lena, and I'm here to guide you, step by step, day by day, towards speaking English more naturally. I'll speak slowly and clearly so you can follow along and repeat with me. Welcome to this life-changing video. If you've ever forgotten a name seconds after hearing it, if you've studied for hours only to forget everything on the exam, if you walk into a room and immediately forget why you came in, if your head feels overloaded with facts and you can't remember what matters, this video isn't just helpful, it's meant for you. You're about to learn exact steps that can unlock your brain, upgrade your memory, and help you remember anything you want permanently. This isn't another 5 tricks to boost your memory list. This is a deep, powerful system that can transform how your brain works starting today. And here's the best part. This video is also great for your English. As you listen, you'll absorb real, clear, powerful English sentences, improve comprehension, and grow your vocabulary naturally. So whether you want to pass exams, remember everything you read, speak better English, or train your mind like a genius, stay with me to the end. If you truly apply these steps, you will never forget what matters again, and you'll learn to trust your mind once more. Let's begin. Step 1. Understand how memory works. Why do we forget? Before you can learn to remember everything, you must know why memory fails. Most people blame a bad memory. They say, "I'm not smart. My brain is weak. I just can't memorize." The truth is, you don't have a weak memory, you have an untrained one. And the first mistake is that we never learned how memory actually works. Picture your brain as a library. Every time you learn a name, a date, or a fact, it's like placing a book on a shelf. If you don't place that book carefully, label it, or come back to check it, it gets lost in the noise. That's what happens in your mind. Information enters, but it doesn't move from short-term to long-term memory, and then it's gone. Short-term memory is like a whiteboard. You write something, but if you don't save it, it's wiped clean. Long-term memory is like a permanent notebook. Once saved, it stays. Most people leave everything on the whiteboard. They hear a name and never repeat it. They read a page and don't connect with it emotionally. They cram, then never revisit the material. So nothing transfers to long-term storage and it disappears. Imagine you're at a party. Someone says, "Hi, I'm Jason." You smile, chat briefly, and walk away. 5 minutes later, someone asks, "What was his name?" And your mind is blank. Why? Because you heard the name but didn't process it. You didn't repeat it, link it to something emotional, or visualize it. It vanished. Now imagine meeting Jason again. This time you think, Jason, like Jason Statham, and you notice he looks a bit similar. You smile and repeat, "Nice to meet you, Jason." Later, you ask, "Jason, what do you do now?" Your brain has focused, connected, and repeated. It built a stronger path. Next time you see him, you remember. Memory is not a talent, it's a skill. Like any skill, it starts with understanding how it works. If you keep feeding information into your brain without knowing how it stores things, you'll always feel lost. But if you apply what you're learning right now, you'll take control. Remember, your memory isn't broken, your system is. Today, we'll build a new system together. Step 2. Pay full attention because you can't remember what you never noticed. Here's a brutal truth. You don't have a memory problem, you have an attention problem. You cannot remember what you didn't see clearly, didn't hear fully, or never let your brain focus on. If you don't fix attention, none of the memory steps will work. Every day, your brain meets millions of inputs: sounds, colors, movements, words, faces, texts, notifications, headlines, voices. If your brain tried to store everything, you'd go insane. So it chooses what to keep and what to forget, and that choice is driven by attention. If you focus on something, it stays. If you don't, it vanishes like it never existed. Attention is the key that unlocks memory. Imagine this. You get out of a taxi, tired and checking your phone, thinking about dinner. You pay the driver and walk away, leaving your bag in the car. 5 minutes later, you panic. My bag, my passport, my laptop. You try to recall the license plate, but your brain gives nothing. Why? Because you never really looked at the car. You saw it, but you didn't pay attention. You heard the driver's voice, but you didn't listen. Your brain never saved the data because you never told it to. Now imagine if you had paused for just 1 second before getting out of the car, looked at the plate number, noticed the driver's face, and said to yourself, okay, white Toyota, plate 8473. That 1 second of attention could have saved you everything. You sit in a classroom or watch a YouTube lesson. Someone says something important, but your mind is already somewhere else. You hear the words, but they never enter. You read a sentence, but your thoughts drift to a song you heard earlier. You listen to a podcast while texting a friend. Later, you say, I studied, but I don't remember. No, you didn't study with attention. You were physically present, but mentally absent. If your mind isn't here, your memory won't be either. And it's not your fault. The world is built to steal your attention. Social media, notifications, multitasking, endless noise. They train your brain to stay distracted, but the truth is simple. You can't save a file you never opened. So don't blame your memory, blame your focus. Because memory begins with attention. From now on, whenever you want to remember something, stop, pause, look, listen, say it out loud, repeat it in your head. Give it full attention for just 5 seconds. Those 5 seconds can mean the difference between remembering for life and forgetting forever. Now you understand, attention is the door. If you don't open it, nothing gets inside. And that's why step 2 is the foundation of memory mastery. This technique is used by memory champions who recall hundreds of words in minutes, by actors who memorize long scripts, by language learners who master thousands of words, and by speakers who deliver talks without notes. And now you can too. Don't just read, see. From now on, visualize every idea, feel it, animate it in your head. Turn names into faces. Turn ideas into pictures. Turn facts into funny images. When you do, your brain stops leaking information and becomes a vault of vivid, unforgettable memories. This step alone can make your memory 10 times stronger, especially for English vocabulary, speeches, or anything you want to keep forever. Step 4. Use the story method. Because your brain is wired for narrative, not lists. Here's a life-changing truth. Your brain doesn't like dry facts. It loves drama, It loves emotion. It loves stories. That's why this next tool is so powerful. If you want to remember anything, wrap it in a story. This method is used by memory champions, actors, teachers, speakers, even ancient philosophers. Why lists don't work? Imagine someone says, remember this list: apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey. You might recall 3, maybe 6, then forget. Why? Because a list is disconnected. No links, no emotion, no movement. Now let's turn it into a story. A giant apple falls from the sky and hits a horse. The horse screams, runs into a shop, and grabs a jacket. He lights a candle to see, but melts an ice cream cone. The ice cream explodes into a cloud raining socks. A sock hits a chair, which grows into a tree. From the tree, a laughing monkey swings down and gives you a thumbs up. Pause. Close your eyes. Repeat the story. You'll remember every word, in order. Why? Because it's no longer a list. It's a movie. Stories connect ideas. They have motion. They have emotion. Even if silly, your brain says, this is fun. Stories create pictures, and pictures create memory. That's why children remember fairy tales word for word, but forget math lessons. That's why movie lines stick for years, but news headlines vanish tomorrow. Want to remember your to-do list? Make it a story. Want to remember new words? Turn them into pictures and connect them. Want to speak without notes? Build each point into a story. The story doesn't have to be logical. The crazier, the better. Your brain holds on to surprise, not logic. This is not just memory improvement. It's memory freedom. Use the story method. If you do, you can turn anything boring into something unforgettable. That's the superpower of memory. Step 5. Practice spaced repetition. Because one-time learning is fake learning. Let's be honest, cramming isn't learning. Memorizing once doesn't mean it's permanent. Your brain needs time, space, and repetition to make things last. This is where spaced repetition comes in, one of the most powerful memory tools ever. Used by language learners, doctors, memory champions, and top performers worldwide. Think of memory like writing in sand. You learn something today, you write it clearly. But tomorrow, wind and waves erase it. That's called the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. If you don't review, your brain forgets. Here's how to beat forgetting. Review after 1 hour, review again after 1 day, then after 2 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks. Each review tells your brain this matters, and it saves it deeper every time. After 5 or 6 spaced reviews, that memory becomes permanent, like turning writing in sand into carving in stone. Let's say you learn the English word serendipity. It means finding something good without looking for it. You love the word, you feel smart, you tell your friend. But then you never see it again. A week later, it's gone. Why? Because you didn't repeat it. Now, let's try it the spaced repetition way. Day 1, you learn serendipity. 1 hour later, you write a sentence. I found a beautiful book by serendipity. That night, you say it out loud again. Day 2, you use it in a conversation. Day 4, you write a short story with it. Day 7, you hear it in a podcast and smile. Day 14, you teach it to someone else. Now that word belongs to you forever because you didn't just meet it once, you built a relationship with it. And that's how memory works. Many learners use free tools like Anki, Quizlet, or Brainscape. These apps automatically test you at spaced intervals. But even without apps, you can do it on paper. Create a box, write the date, and review it every few days. It's not about the tool, it's about the timing. So many people feel broken. They say, I read this already, why don't I remember? I studied 5 hours, where did it go? The answer, no review, no memory. One-time learning is like throwing water at a plant and never watering it again. Spaced repetition is like watering it gently again and again until it grows deep roots and stands strong forever. If you use this single technique, your memory will stop being temporary. It will become solid, reliable, and always ready when you need it. Step 6. Use emotional connection, because feelings make memories permanent. Let me tell you something powerful. Once you truly understand it, your entire memory will transform forever. The stronger the emotion, the deeper the memory. Think about your life. Do you remember what clothes you wore 7 days ago? Probably not. But you remember the day someone broke your heart, or the moment you felt humiliated in class, or when someone gave you a compliment that made you cry. Why? Because your brain doesn't just store facts, it stores feelings. That's why this step matters. If you want to remember something deeply, attach emotion to it. You could read a sentence 10 times and forget it tomorrow, but if one sentence made you laugh, cry, or feel powerful, you'll remember it for life. That's the power of emotion. It activates a part of your brain called the amygdala, which tells your memory, this is important, store it forever. So ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Can I connect it to a real moment in my life? Can I find a reason to care? Let's say you're studying history. April 15th, 1912, Titanic sank. Most people memorize that like robots. They don't care, so they forget. Now, imagine you read about 1,500 people dying, musicians playing as the ship sank, mothers holding children, lovers saying goodbye, strangers giving up their seats to save others. Now, it's not just a date. It's a story, a tragedy, a lesson in love, courage, and loss. You'll never forget April 15th, 1912, because now you feel it. Every time you learn, ask yourself, can I make this personal? Have I lived something like this? Can I feel joy, anger, sadness, or surprise from it? If yes, your brain will remember longer. If no, it'll delete it within hours. Even with English words, don't just learn meanings, feel them. For example, abandon. Don't just say it means to leave. Think of the day someone left you, or when you gave up on something you loved. Now that word lives inside you. Bonus trick. Fake emotion if you must. If a topic is boring, make it emotional. Example, math formula. Area of a triangle equals 1/2 times base times height. Boring? Imagine the triangle is a pizza slice. You're starving, but you only get half. That pain will make you remember that half. It's silly, but your brain doesn't care about logic. It remembers emotion. Even fake emotion beats none. If you apply this, every lesson will feel alive. And what feels alive never dies.
Step 7. Teach what you learn, because teaching is remembering twice. Here's one of the most underrated memory secrets ever. If you want to remember something forever, teach it. Not tomorrow, not next week. Teach it right after you learn it. The moment you teach, you go from receiver to creator. You stop being a student, you become the master. That changes everything. When you teach someone else, your brain does 3 things. Recall the knowledge clearly, organize it in your mind. Express it in your own words. That forces your brain to rebuild the idea from within, and anything you can rebuild, you'll never forget. It's like carving information into stone. Example: you learn the English word procrastinate. It means to delay doing something. If you just walk away, your brain says, okay, not important, and forgets it within 24 hours. But if you tell your friend, hey, do you know procrastinate? It means when we keep delaying what we should do, like homework, exercise, or cleaning. I always procrastinate doing dishes. Boom! Now your brain keeps it forever. Why? Because you didn't just learn it, you used it, shared it, taught it. And when I say teach, I don't mean stand in front of a class. You can explain it to a friend, say it aloud in the mirror, post about it online, record yourself teaching, or make a mini video. You don't need an audience. You just need to activate your teacher mode. Students who study then teach perform up to 90% better on tests. Doctors who teach remember faster. Even spiritual teachers say, when you teach, you heal twice. Once for them, once for you. Teaching isn't the end of learning. It's the proof of learning. It's one of the most powerful mental tools ever. And the best part? It's free, fast, and available right now. If you apply this step daily, you'll become a memory machine. And beyond that, you'll inspire others just by being you.
Step 8. Create a mind palace, because your brain remembers places better than facts. This is one of the oldest and most powerful memory techniques in history, used by Greek philosophers, modern memory champions, and top performers. It's called the mind palace. Your brain is naturally good at remembering places. You might forget yesterday's meeting, but still remember the house you grew up in. The wall colors, where the couch was, the smell of the kitchen, your favorite hiding spot. Why? Because your brain loves space. Places act as anchors for memory. So what if you could store information inside those places? Imagine walking through your memories like a hallway, collecting every fact you want. That's the mind palace. Here's how to build it. Simple and beginner-friendly. Choose a place you know well, your home, school, or favorite cafe. Picture it clearly. The front door, the living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, balcony. Visualize walking through it in order. Assign each room a memory or image. For example, if you want to remember the planets in order, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, you'll place one in each room of your palace. Your home becomes your memory map, and your brain, your greatest library. You heard the driver's voice, but you didn't listen. Your brain never saved the data because you never told it to. Now imagine you'd paused for 1 second before leaving the car, looked at the plate, noticed the driver's face, and thought, white Toyota, plate 8473. That single second of attention could have saved everything. You sit in class or watch a YouTube lesson and someone says something important, but your mind is already elsewhere. You hear the words, but they never enter. You read a sentence while thinking about a song. You listen to a podcast while texting. Later you say, I studied, but I don't remember. No, you didn't study with attention. You were physically there, but mentally absent. If your mind isn't present, your memory won't be either. It's not entirely your fault. The world is built to steal your focus. Social media, notifications, multitasking, constant noise, training your brain to be distracted. But the truth is simple. You can't save a file you never opened. So don't blame your memory, blame your focus. Memory begins with attention. From now on, when you want to remember something, stop, pause, look, listen. Say it out loud. Repeat it in your head. Give it full attention for just 5 seconds. Those 5 seconds can be the difference between remembering for life and forgetting forever. Attention is the door. If you don't open it, nothing gets inside. Step 2 is the foundation of memory mastery. Step 9, review before sleep. Night is when your brain decides what to keep. What you do in the last 10 minutes before sleep changes what you remember. During sleep, the brain organizes and stores the day's learning. Repetition, emotion, and timing tell it what matters. So before bed, take 5 minutes. Remove distractions, open your notebook or flashcards, review 5 key points aloud or silently. Visualize them, feel pride, then sleep. This signals your brain, save this. Do it nightly. It deepens consolidation, improves sleep quality, and builds discipline. Step 10, write things down. Writing is the brain's save button. People often forget what they read or hear, but rarely forget what they write. Writing slows thinking, forces organization, and creates a physical link between hand and memory. It's the moment you press save. When you write a word like resilience, add its meaning, a sentence, and a personal note. After losing his job, his resilience helped him find a new path. I want to be more resilient. That 1 minute turns a definition into a story and a feeling. Handwriting beats typing for deeper memory. Build a notebook, 1 sentence a day, and watch your learning become permanent. Step 11, use active recall. Testing yourself builds unshakable memory. Close the book, close the app, ask, can I remember it without looking? The struggle of retrieval is where learning happens. After reading, close the page and write what you recall. After a video, pause and speak the main ideas. Use flashcards. Quiz yourself before sleep. Active recall is like lifting mental weights. It strengthens memory. Make it daily. It's uncomfortable, but it creates lasting knowledge. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. A crowded brain remembers nothing. Your mind is not a dump. It's a garden. If you let junk in, important things get buried. Start the day with 5 minutes of silence before touching your phone. Limit noise, unfollow distractions, mute useless feeds, and practice digital fasting. Journal each night to empty your head. Take 1 hour daily without your phone. Choose what deserves your energy. Not every message, video, or opinion needs space in your mind. Set boundaries. Protect your brain like your home. This discipline is essential for memory and for life. Now you know the 12 proven steps to remember anything for life. Not tricks, but systems that transform how you learn. Knowing them isn't enough. Live them, practice them, use them. Write what you learn, teach what you remember, protect your focus. Review before sleep, visualize, build your polish, repeat with feeling, clear mental clutter. If you do this, you won't just remember more, you'll become someone who remembers what matters. This lesson also improves your English. Every sentence and step sharpens your language and focus.
Thank you for spending your time with me here on Slow Talk English. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and keep learning with us, one slow, steady step at a time. Keep going. Every word you practice brings you closer to confidence.